Hello everyone, it's time for another Tuesday Terrific card. I'm Sherry Minnie, independent Stampin' Up demonstrator who lives in the small rural town of Keensburg, Colorado. We're about 45 minutes northeast of Denver. So I'm glad y'all could join me today. Today we're going to do card number 2 that I'll be doing in my Stamp-A-Stack. I do a annual Christmas Stamp-A-Stack every year, and that will be happening here again at my house on November 9th. So here's the card. I'm going to show you a card that we're going to be using, and actually this card features from our mini September to December catalog, and it features the Regal Winter Suite, and we're using this gorgeous paper. A couple of things from the stamp set. We're using the beautiful ribbon. And not any of the dies. And then I do have, you could also use these embellishments, but I'm using up some retired things just because I'm trying to use what I have. So for the stamp sets that we'll be using, here is the Regal Flora bundle, and I'm not using any of the dies. I will be using this leaf. No, actually I chose to use this one. And that's about all we're using out of this today. For our inside greeting, I'm going to be using the Christmas Labels bundle, and we're going to be use the Merry Christmas to You, and we're actually going to use this die right here. And I suppose it would help if I would show you the actual card before I get any further into the supplies. So here's our card, and it's got a diagonal treatment here on the front using that beautiful paper. And then here's the inside where I used the Christmas labels just to give it a little bit of a different look on the inside. And then for the front piece, we're going to be using, this is actually a retired set, but I'm so sorry. This is actually in the mini catalog, and it's called Peaceful Seasons, and I'm going to be using Hope This Season is Bright and Beautiful. I will be using the double oval punch to punch out the greeting on the front. We'll be using, we'll have a Stampin' Right marker, pardon me, in the Pretty Peacock, along with the Pretty Peacock ink. This marker we're only going to use to kind of highlight the inside die cut that I put on the inside. You can do that or not, doesn't matter. And I'll be using this beautiful ribbon. This is also in the mini catalog, and it's a Blackberry Bliss, and what's it called? Texture ribbon, and it has the Blackberry Bliss and this very pretty gold edging on it. You'll have a little bow made out of that. And then you can use whatever embellishments you want. I happen to use some old 21, 23 in color gems, and I'm using the green packet part right there. So in your packet, you will have, inside your envelope, you will have a card base of Cherry Cobbler. This measures 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. You'll have a piece of Pretty Peacock. This is 4 by 5 1/4. For the inside, you'll have a piece of Basic White, again 4 by 5 1/4. You'll have a piece of Designer Series paper, and this is from the Regal Flora. And the nice thing about this card layout is you are actually going to get 2 cards out of one 4 by 5 1/4 sheet of paper, and I'll show you how that works in just a moment. You'll have a 1/2 inch by about 6 inches of Basic Black. You'll have a couple of pieces of Basic White to do your stamping on, and then here's the pretty little bow that we'll be using, and each one of you will get a bow. And yes, I will already tie them for you because most of my people who come to my classes and my Stamp-A-Stacks do not like to do bows, even though they're not that difficult. So here we go. I'm going to show you what I'm going to do with the paper first of all. So what we're going to do is we're going to cut this at an angle, but I want it down a little ways, if you can see, in order for it to match up the way I want. I actually made a couple little marks. I doubt that you can see them. You might be able to, but I just kind of marked it an inch down. You don't even have to do that. you can just eyeball it, which after I've made a few more of these, that's probably exactly what I'll do. But I just take the little mark that I made on each side. Let me see if I can, there we go. And then this does not have to be any way exact. It doesn't really matter. And you're just going to cut it and you have two pieces. And so the way this works is the cards will be the same except the placement of the designer series paper. So for here, it'll be on the top, and when you use the other side, it'll be on the bottom. And you will be making two of these cards kind of like this. I might do different colorway, but that's what you'll be using. So let's get our stamping out of the way first, and I should have brought another scrap over here. Let me grab a scrap of paper out of my copier here that we can use. The reason we're going to have scrap is because we're going to actually be stamping off. So we're going to take our Pretty Peacock ink. This is a very dark ink, so you want to use it carefully. I'm sure you can probably see I've been using it this morning, and I've got quite a bit of it on my fingers. So we're going to take this little image from the Regal Flora, and this time I'm just going to do the bottom half, but what we would do for classes, you'll have two pieces and one you'll stop. Well, you could stamp top and bottom. You can just stamp them all the same and then turn them around too. It doesn't really matter. But I'm just going to stamp, kind of twisting my stamp as I go. And we're going to go all the way down, pretty much. And what you can do is you can take your piece of, let's see, actually I want to use this, I want this to be the bottom, so we could take our piece of and hold it down and see, we need to have a couple more in this area right here, just so it looks nice. Put a little on this edge. Maybe a little on that edge, and I think we're probably pretty good with that. So that looks pretty good. Okay, so now we're going to do all our stamping. We're going to take this little piece and we're going to stamp, hoping this season is bright and beautiful. And we're going to stamp it on here. And then for the inside, we are going to stamp Merry Christmas to You. This one's a little bit bigger, so I have a little larger piece of paper here. And we're going to stamp that right on there. All right, there we go with that. Now for our little greeting on the front, we are going to use our punch. We're only going to punch out the bottom one, and hopefully I left enough room to get it. Oh, I did, good. It's a fairly close fit top to bottom, but not from side to side. So you just kind of try to get it as straight as you can. Make sure that you catching the whole thing. And we're just going to stamp, and you'll have a piece that looks like that. Okay. And you get a couple of extra pieces that you don't really need. Pardon me, felt that sneeze coming on. Then we'll take our die. Excuse me, I had to get a little drink of water. We'll take a die from our Christmas labels stamp set, and it's actually this one right here. I really like this set and the stamps because you have lots of different labels, and the stamp on the stamp set match up with these so that you can cut them out. It's really cool. So on this one, we're going to just line this up. as best we can. And then we'll take it and run it through our Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine that you know I don't bring over here. And when we get done, we have this piece here. Now this is going to go on the inside layer, and the inside layer is white. And I wanted it to stand out a little bit, so this is where the marker comes in. These markers have a ballpoint end and a brush end, and we're going to use the brush end. And all you do carefully is you take this on the side and you just rub it around the edge. And I've done most of this just trying to be careful that you don't get more on it than you want, or accidentally slip with the marker and mark up the part that's got the greeting on it. And then when you do this, it really does help it stand out from the white on the inside. It's not difficult. You have to be a little bit careful because this die kind of puts little slits in, which just really makes it very nice. All right, there's that. Now we're going to take our inside basic white piece. We're going to take this leaf design again, open up our ink. And I'm going to stamp full strength and then go over and stamp again. We'll do the same exact thing for our envelope. I'm going to stamp full strength and then again, so you have kind of a two-toned image here. Okay, now we can take this and I'm going to put this down, and we're going to put our greeting in the front, or on the inside. And I used my little glue, my fine applicator. You don't have to. You can use whatever you want. It's just what I happen to have handy. And I kind of just went around. This has a lot of glue in it, so it's kind of hard. I have to push pretty hard to get it to come out. Okay. I want to put a little bit on the corners. Doesn't take a ton. And then I usually, there they are laying down, I take a tweezer. I just do better with the tweezers to see if I'm getting it on there straight. And I use my grid marks on my sheet, and actually, you know what I did? I put this on the 6 and the 10, and I know that the 8 is the midpoint, and that way I can kind of line it up and get it fairly straight, which I don't always do the best job of, but I think that looks pretty good. And I'm just going to push it down. Okay, we got that. Now I will take my Stampin' Seal Plus, put a little bit of adhesive on this piece, open up my card base, and put this in. Oops. And there I got glue on it because I had glue on my finger. Okay, and there's that. Now we're going to work on our front part. So we've already stamped here. We're going to take this and we're going to put it on our card front, and I'm going to put tape around the edges, and I'm going to run out of tape. I can see right now. I think I'll have enough to finish this, and then I'm going to have to change it out. All right, there we go. And now we're taking this piece and we're going to match the corner and the top up evenly. And if you have a little bit hanging over, it's not too bad. It doesn't really show. If it's more than you like, you can just trim it off. Okay? And so that's what we have now. And now we're going to take this, and what I did, because it's going to go right along here, I just took some glue, or you could take your adhesive runner. If I wasn't out, I would probably use that. But I just took it and put it right along the edge here. And then I took this piece of black, and I'm just going to butt it up, making sure that it extends beyond the sides of my pretty peacock layer. And we're just going to lay it right there like that. Okay. Then we will turn this over. We'll trim off the black. And trim it off here. And you have this nice piece for the front of your card. And we will now take this. And let's see, am I going to be able to get enough out of here? I don't think I can. I can certainly try. You see that bright orange there? It tells me you're almost out. But I had enough for that. Okay. Again, we're going to take our card base, line it up on our grid marks, and we're going to put this along there, like so. Then we'll take our little front piece. This does have dimensionals on it. Put one on each end. Take off the backings. This card's pretty quick, and like I say, the nice thing is we now still have this piece left, and so we can make another one, and we'll just put it going here, and you'll have the leaves up here on the top. And this is just going to go. I put it down here. You can place it wherever you want, but it shows up best here. Put it on there. Whoops. Must have a little bit of sticky somewhere. Okay. Let me see if I can get a little bit of that off so my card base doesn't stick to it. This adhesive eraser is such a godsend in so many occasions, and I know I'm probably shaking the table, and I apologize. All right, there that is. Now all we really have to do is put on our pretty ribbon, and what did I do with it? Here it is. And to do that, I just use glue dots. Oops, sorry. Dropped scissors on the floor. That's not what I wanted to do. And so since this is a little bit thicker of a knot, normally I would just put one in the middle. But on this particular one, because it's a little heavier, I'm actually going to put in more than one. I'll put one right in the middle of the knot. And I'm going to put one just a little bit on the other side of it. And then one more on the other side of that. Okay. And then we will take this and push it down in the middle. Now I am going to shorten these bows up just a little bit. I don't want them so long. And this time, I'm going to try and remember to do the embellishments. I have a tendency, as I realized I did last week, of not doing the dimensionals, and I certainly don't intend to do that, but I just sometimes forget. So as I said, you can use whatever bling embellishments you have. I'm going to use these pretty kind of iridescent green ones. I'm putting one right here on the edge of the front oval piece and one on the other side. And I'm putting a big one up here somewhere. Okay, and that takes care of that. Let me get these out of the way. And so there we are. We have our card from today. And we have the card that I brought over as a sample. I hope you'd enjoy it. I hope that if you're planning on coming to my Snap-A-Stack, this is a card that you'll like. And I, again, want to thank everyone who takes the time to watch this. I know your time is extremely valuable, and we're all so very, very busy. If you want to order anything or have any questions, you can check out my online store at sherrymanny.stampinup.net, and my blog is simplylovestampin.com, and this will be posted on my blog with all the measurements shortly after this video is uploaded. Thank you again. May God bless each and every one of you, and I'll see you all real soon. Bye-bye.